Hi guys, today I just want to ask you guys a question before I jump into my presentation. What is the first thing that pops in your mind if you're asked what is the most serious global issue in our daily life? Some of you guys say global warming, child abuse, animal abuse, or even human trafficking. However, today I'm going to talk about homeless epidemic, which is one of the most serious global issues in our daily lives. Today, more than ever, it is certainly true that the most important factor for economic growth is not just natural resources, but human productivity. And even from the most financial perspective, there are a lot of underutilized resources in America is troubling with. And furthermore, from more humanistic perspective, there are a lot of homeless people in our country struggling with their daily life. Not just this is not just because of the effect, but because of the potential causes. And according to UN, there are 100 billion homeless people in our daily lives. And out of the 100 billion people, 1.6 billion are living without enough housing, and one quarter of the population are children. And the more striking information about homeless people is that 20 to 25% of that population are mentally ill or sick. And the fact that there are a lot of homeless people in our country means that there's some other economical, political, and social factor that may be affecting productivity in a non-obvious way. For example, this may perhaps signify a problem with mobility in the world, a problem with healthcare or mental care, and problem with education system, or even just problem with our basic social paradigm that we, the people, hold as a country. And due to this serious issue, there are a lot of organization and foundation, or even federal government system that try to help or improve this serious global issue. And I just have an example for this, and just take a look. This is the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation, and this is the biggest and most well-known foundation in the world. And this helps reduce family homelessness and improve the systems that respond to families experiencing housing crisis. Many people would consider the government and all the organization and foundation helped a lot for homeless people. However, they do not help as much as they think. For example, there are countless people who did not receive any help and they are on multi-year waiting list. And it was shocking that it was the first time that Charlotte, which is a city in North Carolina and which has the second biggest homeless population in the United States, opened up their applications for public housing assistance. Another striking fact is that several cities are making homelessness a crime. For example, city officials in Fort Lauderdale in Florida made it illegal to sleep anywhere in public and serving anything at any public places. Even though there are many organizations and federal systems out there for homeless people, the problem is still not significantly improving. And this is because a minority of people consider this problem as a serious issue, but the majority of people still do not realize the gravity of this global issue. There are a lot of misconceptions about homeless people, and many people will think them as strangers or dangerous people. And that was exactly how I judged them until the significant event that I had with homeless people. Since 2 years ago, I have been going to the park with prepared food to serve it to homeless people with the member of Korean American Federation. And for the first time, I was so frustrated and I was so nervous because I never had interact with homeless people. I never had conversation with them. However, I was astonished by their demeanor. They consider others first than themselves, and they're often positive, and they're even content with who they are. And among all the homeless people I met, there was one guy named Davis, and he was also Korean, and he moved to the United States when he was 18. And he shared his story why and how he moved to the United States. and this is how the story starts. So basically, his dad owns one of the biggest company in Korea, and he was raised in rich and perfect environments since he was young. However, he was forced to be a businessman by his parents because his parents want him to be the next leader of the company. However, that was not what he wanted to do. So he moved out from his house and he moved to the United States for his freedom. And he told me that he's not living his life for his parents, but he's living his life for himself. And from this story, I learned that homeless people also have their own dream to achieve. And in addition, many people I had conversation with were really nice and friendly, and I felt like they're just normal like us. And ironically, even though it was my first time interacted with homeless people, I enjoyed having conversation with them, and I enjoyed spending time with them. And I know it is hard to you guys to step forward to help homeless people because they are people who you guys don't know well. And however, from my experience that I had leading the club at school called NMH, No More Homelessness, and leading Korean American Federation leadership program, I've learned that helping others could make uncomfortable circumstances. However, it is a smart choice to make. And since this is a smart choice to make, not only the government or the organization should try to help this global issue, but also we, the people in the world, should step forward and try to improve this global issue. And that was my presentation. Thank you.